Hey, Jules Blessed Vegan, and as always, welcome to my channel. And for those of you who are new, I know you can benefit. So I'm talking about fear. Why do I always hear the chatter of people just going, Jules, don't spend any more time with that? But it is something that is true for me that I really need to continue to investigate. So if you can't relate, it's all good. It's all good. But for me, I'm going to go for it. So anyway, this is day 3, exploring what is holding me back. I have a feeling it's fear. Could be a little bit of shame, but for right now, I'm going with fear. And I'm using for today, this is from Overeaters Anonymous, a little small discreet book. It could fit in a pocket, about the size of a cell phone. And it just has great talks. The first thing is usually a quotation by someone we recognize. The next part is content, and the last part is sort of a reflection or affirmation. Very brief. It's a really small book, but it's a good one. And so one thing that I was kind of recognizing was that for me, it's not just fear, but it's just stubbornness, right? Like this sense of, I can have whatever I want, and I don't care what you say, and you don't get to stop, like that whole thing. Kind of how people are talking about everything to do with the COVID and their rights being taken away. That was kind of the fit throwing that I was experiencing on my way home. I brought plenty of food for school, but I did not eat it in a timely manner. And by the time I did eat it, I was already raging about everything off my plan. And I know it was just not having enough of my food. And so I was consuming that very quickly before I got ready to drive home. It's too hard to drive and eat at the same time. And though I've been very talented at that in the past. But it's a little different. Fast food is designed to be mowed. Fruit and vegetables, not so much. So anyway, I already was struggling. I'd accidentally compromised. I'm in a position, once again, where I don't have groceries of fresh things. Yes, I always have frozen bananas. I always have frozen vegetables. But I was just kind of freaking out. And my worst self started saying, well, who cares? Screw the whole thing. Let's eat whatever we want. People can't stop us. We have rice. And I was like, whoa. Pull it in, my friend. Pull it in. Like, it's the reminder that we've made a choice, that I've made a choice to care for myself. Yes, nobody requires me to in this current day and age. But it's a choice, right? And a subset of that choice, of course, is trying to honor the animals. And, that's another negotiation that goes down. Well, they're not dead. Yeah, but they wish they were. I mean, those that aren't dead, but are giving up their honey for the bees, their eggs and milk, for the cows, wish they were, because it's just like, oh my gosh, could you imagine being robbed by your livelihood every day and just being told too bad, right? Okay, anyway, I think this is still a really good one. Let's go for it. It says, to win without risk is to triumph without glory. And that is by Pierre Corneille. I don't know. It's for sure Pierre. But Corneille, it's Corneille. Corneille. Something French. It's lovely. Anyway, forgive me for slaughtering it. But yeah, to win without risk is to triumph without glory. That's what I find. It's just true for humans in general, but it's true for children in particular. If you don't give them purpose, if you literally just give them everything, then nothing matters. And they become very resentful, like later. That whole golden spoon mentality, they actually resent it later. And so in my class, you have to earn everything. And they hate it. Like, okay, the first time you go to the restroom is free. The second time you have to pay. If you hurt somebody's feelings or take something from them or break something, you have to pay. You have to pay damages. And we have a quick court case and decide how much in damages. Now, these are all just paper dollars that are given for good behavior and things. But I do make my children pay so that they can recognize the consequence for their actions, both good or bad. And they'll often say, well, the other teachers don't. They just give everything for free. And you're so... I'm so what? Consistent, graceful, caring. I'll take it all. Yeah, no, Miss McCants, but yeah, you sit with that. Okay, so it says, never risking is never growing beyond fear or ridding myself of it, of that fear. To explore a cave, confront a friend. That really necessary conversation, right? Dial a number, ask for a raise, change jobs, or just say no. All of these can be acts of heroism, leaps into freedom. Let's go back. It's such a good list. Are you kidding me? Never risking is never growing beyond fear or ridding myself of it. I hear people say that all the time. I'm never going to go on a roller coaster because I went when I was 1 year old and it scared me. I get it. They're below the height limit, but still, I'm like, maybe you've changed. I'm never going to eat that food. Forget it. I hate vegetables and I won't try it. Because when I was maybe your taste buds have changed. You might want to revisit that vegetable. So many things like that. I get it. And believe me, there are things that I think anybody, if you've been physically harmed in a situation, you pretty much avoid that situation, right? But if it's a situation where you literally fell off a horse, I was dragged by a horse. At like 10 years old, praise God, I got back on a horse. I certainly fell a gazillion times on roller skates and bicycles, and I got back on, right? Many times I've gotten back on. I fell skiing, I got back on. There's a lot of things I got back on for, but there are definitely a few things I've held back on. So to explore a cave, literally to confront a friend, if it's really a friend, come on. Can't you be honest enough? Hopefully, even if you hurt their feelings and they're, creating space between you, they'll come back, right? If it really was a friendship. Dial a number. It's so scary when you've got to talk to someone. Oh, I hate the fear that you're half hoping you'll get a machine. Please don't answer. Please don't answer. Ask for a raise. For teachers, there's no way to do that. We literally get paid on a pay scale. You can only go up or sideways based on more units or time. There's some freedom in that in a way. Change jobs. Hi, Juliana. Are you still driving 100 miles a day? Yes, but I'm going to take the leap of faith next year. Or just say no to whatever it is. Because remember, no is a complete sentence. All of these things can be acts of heroism. They're leaps into freedom. To do what others expect so they'll love me is to play it safe. To throw imagination into the ring is an act of courage. It is not easy to risk failure in plain view of those who wait smugly on the sidelines, just waiting for you to fall, right? To be thought foolish or insane could well start an avalanche of negative self-judgments. Isn't that so true? It is not easy to risk failure in plain view of those who wait smugly on the sidelines. To be thought foolish or insane could well start an avalanche of negative self-judgments. I majored in self-judgment. And yeah, the smallest thing can set me into this spiral of just punishing. It's so sad. But as I grow, I become more willing to venture out of my safe cocoon. Yes, I'm open to that. As I grow, I become more willing to venture out of my safe cocoon. It's really interesting. I like to say layered rosebuds, but everybody always says onions, okay, because of the layers. Whatever the case is, there are so many layers, and we could even think of the rings in the inside of a tree, right? And so many of these things I've approached so many times, but as I continue to heal, as I continue to strive, as I continue to do a new lifestyle, those layers keep unfolding and unpeeling. And yeah, it's like, well, wait, didn't you already talk about this? Yes, I did. But it was never the same talk twice because I'm always in a different place, So then it says, for today, I have the strength to walk through my fears, to take a chance on a new way of life. Say it again. For today, I have the strength to walk through my fears, to take a chance on a new way of life? Yes, please. All right, let's go back. A clean read, all right? To win without risk is to triumph without glory. Pierre Corneille. Never risking is never growing beyond fear or ridding myself of it. To explore a cave, confront a friend, dial a number, ask for a raise, change jobs, or just say no. All of these can be acts of heroism, leaps into freedom. To do what others expect, so they'll love me, is to play it safe. To throw imagination into the ring is an act of courage. It's not easy to risk failure in plain view of those who wait smugly on the sidelines. To be thought foolish or insane could well start an avalanche of negative self-judgments. But as I grow, I become more willing to venture out of my safe cocoon. For today, I have the strength to walk through my fears, to take a chance on a new way of life. Dun, 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 dun. I can't help it. All right, that's the story, peeps. Can you relate? I can relate. I can relate. But yeah, that was kind of a revelation for me as I was fighting back and forth and trying not to stop down that 10-mile stretch of fast food restaurants and everything. I was really fighting myself, and part of me was just saying, I can do whatever I want. I don't care. And of course we can. We can do whatever we want. There's a consequence for it. It will not be lovely, but we are certainly welcome to do whatever we want. How is it going to serve us in the long run, right? All right, if you like, join us if you haven't, subscribe. Let me know in the comments below how I may support you. And until we talk again, best of all, know that fear can be overcome. Intention with intention. And until we talk again, know that you're blessed.